For eons, we looked to the stars with wonder, never realizing that the heavens themselves would one day fracture to reveal a cold and terrifying destiny approaching. They did not come to negotiate or conquer in ways we understood. They came to rewrite the very fabric of our world with these massive biological anchors. When the first pillar struck the abyss, the impact was felt in every corner of the globe, a violent signature of an ecosystem about to be replaced. The earth groaned under the weight of the invaders, its crust buckling as the alien technology began to anchor itself deep within the burning core of our world. In mere hours, the concrete jungles of our greatest civilizations were overtaken by a rapid, aggressive growth that defied all known laws of terrestrial biology and evolution. The air we breathed began to change, turning into a thick, luminous haze that signaled the end of humanity's reign and the birth of something entirely alien. We were not being destroyed by weapons of war, but by a new nature that saw us as nothing more than fertilizer for its grand and terrible design. The pillars acted as hearts, pumping alien lifeblood into the soil, terraforming our home into a playground for gods that hailed from the cold reaches of space. We thought we were alone in the universe, but as the sky turned to fire, we realized we were just waiting for the true owners to return. Deep within the silent trenches of the Pacific, where the sun is never reached, a primal force began to stir in response to the celestial intrusion above. The Earth has its own immune system, ancient guardians that have slept since the dawn of time, waiting for a threat great enough to warrant their awakening. He is the Alpha, the king of a forgotten era, and the scent of alien radiation has finally broken his million-year slumber in the crushing depths of the sea. As he rose, the very tides turned in his favor, challenging the invaders with a roar that echoed through the storms and the hearts of every living soul. This was not a cry of fear, but a declaration of war against the stars, a warning that this planet would not fall without a catastrophic fight. On a hidden island lost to time, another king looked to the heavens, feeling the balance of nature shatter as the mechanical shadows began to descend. Kong did not need to be told what was happening, and he could feel the corruption in the air, a sickness that threatened the home he swore to protect. The gods of Earth were waking up, and they were not pleased with the uninvited guests who dared to claim the soil and the sky as their own. From the frozen wastes to the burning sands, the planet's ancient defenders rose in unison, a global response to an extinction-level event from the deep cosmos. In the shadows of the final human strongholds, a desperate plan was born, a bridge built between the technology of man and the spirit of the beast. To understand our enemies, we had to first understand our protectors, reaching into the very genetic code of the monsters that once ruled the ancient world. It was a gamble that defied sanity, an attempt to merge the human mind with the consciousness of a god to find a path toward survival. As the connection stabilized, the boundaries of identity dissolved, and the pilot became more than human, tasting the memories of 1,000,000 years of survival. She saw the world as he did, a cycle of death and rebirth, a long history of protecting the balance against threats that came from beyond the veil. The link was a flood of raw emotion and ancient wisdom, revealing that the Titans were not just monsters, but the living soul of the Earth itself. But even as we found a way to fight back, fear divided us, with many wanting to destroy both the invaders and the guardians who saved us. We were standing on the edge of a knife, caught between the desire for control and the necessity of trust in a world that no longer belonged. "I don't just feel his power," she whispered. "I feel his pain. A lonely burden carried for ages to keep this world breathing against the void, to save the future. Now we had to surrender our pride and return to our ancient roots, becoming the voice for those who could only speak in roars. The final stand took place in the ruins of our pride, where the steel of man met the biology of the stars and the fury of the earth. Godzilla unleashed the full might of the planet's core, a beam of pure radiation that carved through the alien hulls like a blade of divine judgment. The heavens rained fire as the motherships burned, their exotic fuels igniting the atmosphere in a spectacular display of cosmic destruction and human titan defiance. The invaders sent forth their own champions, twisted biological nightmares designed to kill everything that moved on this stubborn blue marble we call home. Kong fought with a primal ingenuity, turning the enemy's own technology against them, a king defending his territory with every ounce of his legendary strength. But for the first time in history, the apex predators of Earth and the technology of humanity fought side by side, a united front against the darkness. We were no longer just observers of the carnage. We were the support, the distractions, and the tactical minds behind the raw power of the Titans. The ground trembled as the Titans of two worlds clashed, a battle of such scale that the very foundation of the city crumbled beneath their feet. Every second was a struggle for breath, a chaotic symphony of war where the lines between biological life and mechanical destruction blurred into one. In that moment of perfect union, we were not two species, but a single heartbeat, a single will determined to keep this world alive at any cost. Today, we did not fight alone. We fought as the collective spirit of a planet that refused to die, striking the heart of the star-born invasion. As the echoes of the final explosion faded, and a heavy silence fell over the world, the air cooling as the alien influence began to wither away. The connection was severed, leaving behind a woman who had seen the dawn of time and a world that had narrowly escaped its final sunset. The king of the monsters returned to the depths, his duty fulfilled, leaving us with the realization that we are merely guests in his majestic ancient domain. The sky remained changed, a permanent reminder of the day the stars fell, but the light that shone through was warm, familiar, and full of hope. Life finds a way, adapting and merging with the remnants of the invasion to create a new world, a legacy born from the ashes of conflict. Errors were corrected with blood, and as the earth begins again, we must remember that we are never truly alone under the watchful eyes of gods.
The Age of Star, Ancient Gods.